Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Between the Numbers Sports Podcast and Show. I'm your host, Daryl, and today we're going to be talking about the LSU Tigers, but more specifically, we're going to be talking about LSU's coaching staff. So stay tuned, watch all the video, like, comment, subscribe. Football season is right around the corner. Man, if y'all haven't been checking in on LSU, go on YouTube and check out some of the practice clips. They look good. They look good. But all right, let's jump into it, right? So, why am I talking about the LSU coaching staff? Well, I've been wanting to make this video for a little while, right? I think that Brian Kelly has surrounded himself with a elite coaching staff. Now, maybe I'm biased, but I think LSU has an elite coaching staff. Definitely a top five coaching staff in all of college football. And so I just wanted to, talk about why I think LSU is so successful. Um, why their coaches are so successful at getting these big time recruits and developing these players, putting so many players in the NFL. And so let's jump right on into it. All right, so I'm just gonna be breaking things down by based off what I think um, is so effective for LSU and its coaching staff after doing research and stuff like that. So again, it's my opinions, but here we go. So first up, I want to say I think LSU has some of the best recruiters, right? So you got to think about Frank Wilson, Corey Raymond, right? Joe Sloan, right? We got very good recruiters, right? Frank Wilson was instrumental in bringing in Leonard Fournette. We know what Corey Raymond did in the past and what he's doing now that he's back at LSU. And so, the LSU consistently attracts top tier talent. The coaching staff excels at building relationships with high school coaches and players. That's one thing that DJ Pickett talked about, his relationship with Corey Raymond, right? And LSU and the coaches are always leveraging the program's reputation and allure of playing in the SEC. Bryce Underwood said that LSU is his uh, dream school right now. Mind you, uh, Brian Kelly and some of the other coaches wasn't there when Bryce Underwood was born or when he was a younger kid, but he's always dreamed of playing in the SEC and the allure of college football at LSU, right? The kid's from Michigan, and he wants to play at LSU. So that tells you a lot about those things. And then the player development, right? The coaches are really good at developing players. Go look at some of the players that Corey Raymond has developed: Bo Davis, Brad Davis, right? Joe Sloan, Cortez Hankton, right? So the staff focus on developing players both physically and mentally. Brian Kelly talked about that in a few press conference. He did a few interviews a few um, months ago, and he said that hey, they're not looking for just to get any guys out of the transfer portal. They're looking for guys to come out of the transfer portal who's going to get paid, of course, but that shouldn't be the first thing on their mind. They should be a team guy. They should be focused on developing as a young man and as a professional player, because the next step after college is the pros for players that elect to play in the pros. And let's be honest, most players want to go to the pros. So Brian Kelly, they're looking for guys that want to be better individuals in society, better men, and players, and obviously get paid. So that speaks to that aspect of it, um, of developing players both physically and mentally. At one time LSU had a legendary strength and conditioning program, which they still do, right? You gotta be strong playing in the SEC. LSU has very great position specific coaching, right? Again, Bo Davis, Corey Raymond, Brad Davis, right? Joe Sloan, and go over and over again. And they pay attention to individual improvements. Think about think about Harold Perkins, right? Think about Harold Perkins, right? They're constantly tweaking Harold Perkins to make him even eliter, if that's a real word, right? Harold Perkins is already elite player, but they're getting him even better, right? And think about Jaden Daniels, right? Jaden Daniels came in. I thought Jaden Daniels was going to leave after his first season at LSU, and he stayed at LSU. Brian Kelly coached him really hard because you probably seen some of the, you know, the screaming events that Brian Kelly, was screaming in Jaden Daniels' ear a few times. But look, Jaden Daniels, he developed, right. He went from where he was his first year at LSU to winning a Heisman and being a number 2 overall draft pick in the NFL draft. So yeah, they're very the coaches are very dedicated and they care about players developing. And also look at Blake Baker. Look how he developed I forgot the linebacker's name, but if you're an LSU fan, you know who I'm talking about. I think he plays for the Dallas Cowboys right now, but look how he was able to develop uh, that kid, right? And so Harold Perkins is definitely going to develop well under Brett Baker. And again, LSU constantly, its coaches are constantly successfully turning raw talent into NFL caliber players. Um, no one was really expecting Justin Jefferson to be how good he is. He was a 2-star, a 3-star. Now, mind you, again, some of those coaches was not there, but LSU, it seems like one of those places where players come that may not have all of the hype behind their name, and they get developed into a superstar in the NFL. And then, LSU is able and its coaches are able to adapt, right? The staff is known for adapting their strategies to maximizing the strengths of their players, whether it's adjusting offensive schemes, aligning the defense properly, the ability to tailor the game plan to the opponent and the roster's capabilities has been a high, I think has been a high mark uh, of, LSU success, right? Um, LSU went from this always running the ball with Les Miles to bringing in a spread offense with Coach O and Joe Burrow and all of those guys, right? And so they're constantly, tweaking the offense, right? Jaden Daniels was a dual threat quarterback, but they had a they had an offense that was, that was um developed to fit around Jaden Daniels and what he can do better. And I'm pretty sure they're going to have the same thing for Nussmeyer this season. So LSU is always adapting, whether it's in the play calling, NFL, I mean, not sorry, NIL technology, right? LSU is always tip of the spear in college football for technology. Has some of the best locker rooms, has this the platform in general, right, is great. LSU develops players with their platforms and their brand. Right. Think about Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels had a amazing Heisman rollout candidate. Right. LSU got behind him with all type of commercials, interviews, billboards in New York City, all of those things. Right. And so LSU is always adapting, whether it's on and off the field, to accommodate its players, and the players really appreciate that because they're always coming back to LSU. They're always donating money back to the program. So that speaks for itself. Um, and then strong leadership, right? The head coach and Brian Kelly and his coordinators, right? Joe Sloan, Cortez Hankton, all of those guys, they have cultivated a culture of accountability, discipline, and excellence, right? This leadership has created a unified team, and this team is resilient, right? Is resilient. LSU has a lot of pressure this year, and Brian Kelly is always putting the pressure on those guys and keeping them goal orientated, right? Keeping them on task to want to achieve the goal, which is winning a national championship and graduating as a champion, right? You hear Brian Kelly talking about that all the time. Graduating as a champion. So, what is graduating as a champion? Winning a national championship and graduating, right? Graduating with your bachelor's degree or your master's degree or whatever you're going to be, pursuing in college, right? But graduate a champion on the field and in the classroom and shit. How awesome is to finish your degree in 4 years, graduate a champion, and go on to the NFL, right? I mean, that's that got to be a great feeling. But if you think about Brian Kelly, right? Think about Brian Kelly. Let's think about the last couple of coaches LSU had, right? So Les Miles and Coach O, right? They was players coaches, right? They had big personalities, right? They was kind of wonky, right? And then you got to think about Nick Saban and Coach Brian Kelly, right? They was more like father figures, CEOs. They was really tough. They're really tough on their players. They coach them up really good, and they want excellence out of them, right? They want them to strive for greatness because Nick Saban and Brian Kelly could see greatness in these players, and they wanted to get the most out of them. So Uh, Brian Kelly is definitely one of those CEO types, right? So um, very, very strong leadership from Coach Kelly and all of the coaches, right? And then game day preparation, right? LSU coaches are always known for their thorough preparation. Now, I got to be real, right? We haven't won a season opener in a while, and it's definitely a sore spot with the fan base and the coaching staff. But I think LSU is going to come out and play USC really tough, and I think they're going to get we're going to get our first season opener victory in what 3 or 4 years. I've lost count, but you know historically LSU is always prepared, breaking down opponents, right? Tendencies and preparing the team to execute the game plan effectively. And then, LSU's ability to make in-game adjustments also set them apart, right? Think about all of the times where last season LSU was playing like crap in the first half, right? And then they came back in the second half and was able to rally. And just think about you know, times in the past before last season, right? So LSU, Brian Kelly harps on, adjustments and um being prepared, right? Being prepared. That goes back to that business like approach that Brian Kelly takes and that CEO type of mindset that he has, right? And so again, and then we're talking about, emphasizing on the fundamentals, right? This coaching staff I feel like places a strong emphasis on mastering the basics, right? The brilliance on the basics, how you align, right? Your assignments, right? Knowing where you're supposed to be on the field, knowing your job, right? Communication, right? Which ensures that players have the fundamental skills needed to succeed at the highest level, right? So um, LSU puts a lot of players in the NFL. As of last year, before Jaden Daniels and all of those guys, LSU had 57 players in the NFL on active players on roster. So it's even more now with Malik Neighbors, Mason Smith, Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and stuff like that, right? It's even more. So over 60 players on active rosters, right? And that's from these coaches preparing these kids to be ready for the next level, right? And then obviously LSU has a winning culture. The program history of success and expectations from fans, right, and alumni drives the coaching staff to maintain higher standards. Look at what happened with, look what happened with Les Miles. People got tired of like the same old Les Miles, right? This is the same guy that wanted Jamar Chase to play uh, cornerback, and he also wanted Devin White to play running back, right? And so we got Coach O. Coach O won us a national championship, but Coach O was too loose. I love Coach O, but Coach O was too loose with some of the things that he was accused of. They let him go, and they brought in Brian Kelly, right? Because they expect Brian Kelly to, take us to the next level, right? And like shout out to Les Miles and Coach O because they both won national championships at LSU, but they was kind of loose, right? They didn't have the program really like locked up airtight, right? So LSU has a history of success and expectations from the fans, and a culture of winning that permeates all aspects of the program, right? If you look at LSU as a whole, right, it's sports programs. LSU has a lot of championships, right? Baseball, women's basketball, gymnastics, football, right? So LSU as a whole, its sports program has a winning expectation, and the coaches on all platforms, right? Whether it's Kim Murphy, the baseball coach or whoever, right? They're pushing their players to excel, right? And so LSU has a winning culture. Every kid in Louisiana probably wants to play at LSU. Look at the players that's coming from out of state to play at LSU, right? LSU is definitely a blue chip program. And so these coaches help facilitate that, right? These coaches want nothing less but to win on the highest level. And if you're not concerned about winning, if you're playing sports, then why are you even playing? Right. The whole goal is to win, to be successful, and to win a national championship. So why are you even playing? So yeah, those are what I think these coaches bring, right? So if that we just recap, recruiting prowess, right? Player development, strategic adaptability, strong leadership, game day preparation, and emphasis on the fundamentals and being brilliant on the basics. And this a winning culture, right? And so these factors combined with the resources, right? LSU has one of the top NIL collectives in all of college football. again, with some of the players like Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson. If you look at LSU's locker rooms, beautiful locker rooms. Look at LSU's receiver room. Look at LSU's quarterback room, right? So LSU has an abundance of resources and NIL resources, uh, and the support that's available at LSU contributes to the coaching staff's effectiveness and consistently producing competitive teams. So that's what I think, right? And again, I might be biased, but I think LSU has a elite coaching staff, definitely top five in all of college football. And I can't wait to see what they have cooked up uh, this offseason when LSU takes the field versus USC in less than 2 months. All right, that's it for me. Wrapping it up. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Does LSU have a elite coaching staff? Do they not? If you don't want to talk about LSU because you're not a fan of LSU, let me know in the comment section. If you think your favorite team has an elite coaching staff, let me know. Until next time, I'm out.